you guys? Hello. Hi. So I'm Councilman Brian Casey. I represent Ward 16, City of Cleveland. I am honored to be joined by the Honorable Stephanie House Jones, who represents Ward 7, which is part of the Huff
St. Clair Superior
neighborhood.
Asiatown.
Right.
Downtown.
Asiatown down. She's got a good portion of the east side. So we're out here today because starting on Tuesday, we are going into our budget hearings. So we are doing these remote what's in your wallet presentations so that we can show the residents of the city of Cleveland how your money gets allocated throughout the year for the city of Cleveland. So between myself and Councilwoman House, we'll be more than happy to work with our Deputy Director of Communications, Daryl Tolbert, for Cleveland City Council. How a nice round of applause for
Hey,
Daryl.
Daryl, for showing up. Okay, so basically the reason why we're going out here, we think it's important for people to know how our budget is actually structured. What we are about to undertake over these next 4 weeks or so, this is the largest thing that we'll do in any 1 year, is pass the budget. It's a $2.1 billion budget. And this is to operate the city of Cleveland, and we want to hear from people, and so that's why we are here. Okay, so when we talk about the process, our operational hearings, February 1st, the mayor is required to release the budget. We have about 2 weeks to kind of review it, to look at things, and then this upcoming Tuesday, he's going to present his budget. From there are 2 weeks where each department in the city of Cleveland, as well as our major enterprise funds, will go through the reasoning behind the budget that they proposed. And then we'll have about another 2 weeks for Cleveland City Council members to kind of deliberate. It's called reconciliation. And then the budget will be passed. So that's kind of the process that we have.
And just remember, when the mayor presents a budget to us, it's just an estimate. It's actually Cleveland City Council that passes the budget. So whatever the mayor gives to us, we have every right, every option to change, add, or delete whatever we want in the budget.
So again, we have to pass a budget. It must be passed and signed by April 1st. And there are requirements just in statute and law that it has to be read and put out at least 3 readings, really, before we can pass it. And this legislation is separate from some federal allocations that we get through our community block development grant dollars. That's many of the resources that we get for housing, home improvement, development, things of that nature.
And then once the budget has its 3rd reading, it has to sit for 15 days for feedback from the residents of the city of Cleveland.
Yep, you go. And here we are. Skirt it a little bit over. So basically what you will see here, just an overview, here in 2024, when we started off in January, we started off in the account with about $61.3 million. In this proposed budget, there's about $806.6 million in revenue. And then as far as expenses, we are, what is being proposed is $805.6 million in expenses, leaving us with $62.3 million. That's the general flow of the budget. And so Casey, going to talk a little bit about, we're good, keep going. Let's go to the next, and I know we got this screen situation. So this is the thing that I like to talk about. This is a big pie shape, right? Where does the money come from? Where does our money come from majority? Does anybody know? Yes, it's specifically the personal income tax. So we like people working in the city of Cleveland because that's where 63% of our dollars in our general operating dollars come from people that work in the city of Cleveland. Next, property taxes. Property taxes are about 7%. And then we have a multitude of other things, our licensing fee, parking taxes, local government fund, that's money that comes from the state. It's about 4%. What else? Investment income is about 4%. So you can see there are a multitude of things that go into our general operating fund. And the reason why we talk about the general operating fund, that is a pot of dollars that we have to really do our basic functions of city government, and then we have a whole bunch of other funds that we'll go into that are like our utilities: Cleveland Public Power, Port Authority, the airport, water pollution controls. Those different things are set up with the money that they generate is the money they spend. So it can't be commingled, right? We can't use the funds from utilities to pay for the firefighters or our police department or for streets. That's not allowed.
There's three branches of government, right? There's the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. So we, as the city of Cleveland, have to fund all three of those. So the executive is the mayor's office. The legislative is Cleveland City Council, and then the judicial is Cleveland Municipal Court and the clerk's office. So of all the money that we have, almost 93% of it is spent by the executive, or is allocated for the executive branch. The legislative branch, Cleveland City Council takes a whopping 1.2% of the budget, and then the court system gets a whopping 5.9%. So that's how the money is broken up for the expenditures. How do we spend it? 50% of our budget is spent on public safety. So that's police, fire, EMS, corrections, stuff like that. The next biggest one would be non-departmental. Public Works, which is they pick up your trash, they keep our parks clean, they do our streets. Then Cleveland Municipal Court, which again is, there's 13 judges in Cleveland Municipal Court along with a clerk. General government, Parks and Rec is 4.7%, the law department's 2.7%, public health is only 2.1%. So you can see that even though a department like public health or building and housing is extremely important to the city of Cleveland, the vitality of the city of Cleveland and the stability of the city of Cleveland, not a whole lot of money in general is spent on those departments. And public safety is absolutely our biggest expenditure. And within public safety, of that almost 60% that we spend, 30% of that 60% go to the police, 14% go to the fire, and EMS, because we just heard from them, 5%, only 5% of the dollars that are allocated goes toward EMS. And again, you'll see our public health department, I thought we had one there.
For what?
Department of Aging.
Oh, that's in the one.
Is that?
It's the real little sliver.
You're right. I thought. Okay. Yeah. So for us, departments that City Council use the most of is like Public Health, Building and Housing, and the Department of Aging. But you can see that not a whole lot of money goes into those departments for the stability of that. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
50% that was for the public, or,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Public safety. The part that goes to the mayor's office, when you go to the next slide, how much of that is, I guess I don't understand, so does the council then decide what the executive branch can do?
So again, the mayor submits his budget to us, okay, and it's just an estimate. And then it's the council, which will be our next 2 weeks of hearings. We go over every single department, how much they want, what they want it for, how they're gonna expend it, what they want to expend it on. And then we decide at the end of that whether we agree with it, we don't agree with it, we want to add more money to it, we want to take money from it. But if we're going to add money, we'll just say to the mayor's office, right? Then we have to take that money from somewhere else. So that's always the big question, is if somebody wants more money, where are we going to take it from in order to fulfill their wishes?
So council has to approve the executive budget?
Yes, we have to approve the whole. We approve the executive, the judicial, and the legislative budget.
So chiming in, you were asking about the Department of Aging. Department of Aging is 0.3%. 0.3%, it's around $1.4 million is allocated for the Department of Aging. And people be like, oh my goodness, what happened is it? But a lot of times, Health and Human Services is really done by our county. In most cases,
Yeah,
but we
right.
can have conversations about that. But again, there was a time where City of Cleveland just felt like there needed to be a little bit more investment in aging here in the City of Cleveland, hence. But as you can see, the Department of Aging is not even a 1%, it's 0.3%. Here we
Go
go.
over them.
Okay. Yeah, so again, we talked about the percentages of it. One of the things when you look at our budget, people are always like, well, where does the money go? 71% of our dollars go to the people in the departments, right? All the people that make up the City of Cleveland, 62 people, and Cleveland City Council. There are about 424 people in the court system, and there is a whopping 4,695,000 people who are working in the executive branch. That's around, I'm just rounding, but it's around $400 million in salaries and wages, and $171 million in benefits. Healthcare costs are very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. And our obligations when people, retirements and things of that nature. And so that's what makes up 71% of the money that we're talking about goes to the people that do the work that we say we want and we expect here in the City of Cleveland.
Yeah, so that's about $575 million in salaries and benefits for individuals who keep this city running on a day-to-day basis. So I also want to reiterate real quick about the two different types of dollars, right? We have general fund and then we have enterprise funds. So the general fund is how we saw, when you saw how we got our money from the income tax and parking tax and all that other stuff. The enterprise funds come from the Department of Public Utilities and the Port Control. And there's some smaller ones, some cemeteries and stuff like that. But those are the big ones. And that's money that comes into the City of Cleveland because we own Cleveland Public Power, we own the airport, we own the water department. But that money is user-based, is the easiest way to say it. So when you pay for your water, as an example, that money doesn't go toward, as Councilwoman House Jones said, a police officer. That money has to go back into the water department. Same with water pollution control. So when you pay your monthly bill and the water pollution control charges there, that money has to stay with water pollution control. Just like the airport. The way that we pay for the airport is through the airlines and user fees at the airport every time you purchase a ticket, right? Or we charge a plane to take off, we charge a plane to land. So those enterprise, and that's how you get to the $2.1 billion because those are very, very large enterprises that bring in a lot of dollars for those entities to have.
Yeah. So now, we wanted to that's the brief overview.
That's very brief.
It's a brief overview, and we wanted just to open up to you to get your thoughts, your input. What do you think? Yes. Oh, I hear a laugh. Let's get over here. What's this laugh about? If you do us a favor to introduce yourself, just tell us your name and tell me about the laugh.
Oh, dear. My name is Catherine Brock, and I'm in Ward, I don't know, am I 15? I'm in, yeah, it was 17, so now it's 15.
It'll be the new 15. You live in the new 15. Yeah, you're 17 this year.
What's your name?
Oh, my name is Catherine. I just wonder, well, how about the Browns? What's happening with them?
All right.
Now this is a funny question because again, we were over somewhere else and
Right.
That conversation is happening. Oh, we were over at the Harvey Rice on the east side. They talked about it too. There's some similarities between the east and the west side. Okay.
So it's fun. You all know where I stand on the Browns and where I believe they should be. But we do use general fund dollars because we own that stadium, right? So we have to use general fund dollars for the maintenance and the upkeep and paying the property taxes and the insurance on that stadium. So, I'm an advocate for them to stay because I believe we're finally at a point where they can become an economic benefit to the city of Cleveland once we get out of the terrible lease that we're in. But if they go to Brook Park, then we're done with them. I mean, no general fund dollars, once they would leave the city limits, would go toward that organization any longer.
And so we're in the current budget, I think I have these numbers right. We are expected to spend about $16 million. The expenses or the profit thus far just for the operations is about $15 million. So it's like a $1 million deficit just looking at the operations. But in a separate line item, when we look at revenues, there's projected to be around $25 million in admission taxes and things of that nature. And part of that stadium, Cleveland Brown Stadium, goes toward that. So, there are real conversations going on how it will end. We don't know. There has been proposals from the state of Ohio that have created this whole stadium fund that will help to subsidize billionaires to do the vision that they have. And so again, I would say an ask and an action. I would strongly encourage you all to reach out to your state representatives as well as your state senators to let them know if you agree with giving that investment to them or not. We work for you all, so you should let us know.
Anybody else got a question, comments?
Okay,
Sir.
I'm coming back to you. Hold on, because we're recording, so if we can get your name and then your thoughts.
Hi, my name is Mark. I just wonder, do we, as a city, how much do we get out of every ticket that is sold at the Browns Stadium?
So there's
How much does the city get?
8% of every ticket sold.
8%.
Yeah.
And that's what you actually use as a maintenance program?
Right. Yeah, our admission tax.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're coming around. Okay. Don't forget to share your name with us.
Hi, my name is Bob Rittenhouse. I've lived in Cleveland about 21 years. Have worked in Cleveland at times too, Cleveland Public Library, Gould Inc. and so forth. Part of my question, and you may have already covered it, how much of the Cleveland budget do they get on an average from the U.S. government, the state of Ohio, and the county, and or any other government agencies that might give income? Thank you.
So I'm not exactly sure what our
back to
local government fund is because the state has continuously cut it year after year. And the city, and this is not included in this, but the city does run on a lot of federal grants, especially for our public safety departments. And I, Councilwoman House Jones, do you have that number handy?
Yep, I'm looking it up right now. I am looking it up from the beginning of what is projected to be. I know it's about 4%, but in dollars for the local government fund. Oh, that's expended.
I thought it was like 3.7 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see what that is in dollars and cents. We don't have it on here. License other property sales tax. Oh, here it is. It's around $31.4 million is for the local government fund. That's what we anticipate getting this year from the state of Ohio.
But Councilwoman, I don't know if you have this answer, but how much do we send to the state?
I don't have that.
Right, yeah, so what it usually does is the city of Cleveland will pay our portion to the state, and then what has happened in the past is that the state would usually just say, thank you very much, we're a pass-through, we're gonna give it back to you. But the state of Ohio has continuously cut the amount of money that they're sending back to us that we send down to them. But according to Councilwoman House Jones, they're sending us about 31 million, about 30 million a year probably, as of right now.
That's what's projected in the budget.
Yeah.
We're coming around here. Thank you for that question, sir.
Okay.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Violet Alvino. I have a question. If the Browns do not stay, that area could be developed into condominiums, businesses, parks. Wouldn't that be, in essence, a better revenue for the city? And they will shine amongst all these other top cities.
And I could also grow wings and fly. But, you know,
In the future.
if you want to develop the lake, that's fine. We're in that early processes again. But that stadium alone, right, last year brought in about 1 million people through the city and to the lakefront, okay? Now, they're there for one specific reason, and then they leave. But still, 1 million bodies had to come through the heart of the city to get to the lakefront.
Well, I'm just thinking about the
Right,
future.
right. But if you think that we can develop the lakefront, that will bring an annual number of around 1 million people a year through the city to get to the lakefront, then we can have that conversation. I don't know what we could develop down at the lakefront that would make 1 million souls pass through the city of Cleveland. And that's the key part here, right? So to get to the lakefront, you have to come through the city. Now, to get to the lakefront, you can come to the east, to the west, from the south, however you need to get there, right? But the key point is that you're coming through the city. You're actually traveling into the city.
Not the lake. They can develop something over the lake from other areas that come.
You could. I mean, we're in the early concepts of setting things up to maybe one day, possibly with or without the stadium there, to develop the
future.
lake, to develop the
Future, if
lakefront.
they
Yeah,
don't, you know.
right. But I believe that is many, many, many years off.
No, I won't be around, yeah.
Right.
It's a possibility.
Could be, but we've been hearing possibilities of developing the lake since George Voinovich was our mayor.
And before.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm coming back around, but we had a question here.
My name is Jesse,
Hey, Jesse.
still pertaining, to the Browns. Are you in direct communication with the city of Brook Park? What kind of incentive are you offering the Browns to stay at the lake? What is Brook Park offering for them to move to Brook Park?
Right. So I don't know what Brook Park is offering. That I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they probably,
I don't know. First of all, to put it where it is, we just don't have the arteries to get that many people into that location. That's infrastructure-wise. But another way is, we know the city offered $461 million to the current ownership for them to stay on the lake through incentives with parking and, admissions and stuff like that. I do not know what the city of Brook Park is offering for them.
are you in
to stay
direct
there.
communication with the city of Brook Park?
I am not in direct communications
No?
with the city of Brook Park, no.
What about the mayor's,
I'm not privy to any conversations that the administrations have had between each other.
I'm just, okay.
Yep. Oh, no, it's okay. I know people have their bus. Transportation is very important. Yes, ma'am. Oh, no, you good.
I just have a quick question. How is the recycling doing?
We're told better, that we're over, I think we're over 60% compliant now. So, we get a lot of calls about people saying, well, they took my black can and they dumped it in the into the garbage truck, and then they took my blue can and dumped it into the garbage truck. But unless you have the stickers on your blue can, which means you have opted into recycling, which means you're agreeing to recycle the right way and not contaminate the recycling, then they're just gonna take your blue and black cans and mix them together. But if you have those stickers on your blue recycling can, then that will be a separate truck that comes around. But when we first started it, compliance was like at 11%. And we're actually up to 60% now. So it's getting better. I personally believe, and not until we start yanking blue cans will people actually start recycling the way they're supposed to, or we'll get more people to recycle, which hopefully will.
Coming off.
So if you ever need a new sticker, call your council person. And I can't believe that I ever said call your council person. But call your council person or call the
311.
the 311 or the
311.
or yeah, 311.
Just call 311.
311, I guess. Yeah. Anybody else have anything? I personally want to thank Councilwoman Stephanie House Jones for coming over all the way over to this side.
And we also got to get a
whatever
special
that
shout
is.
out. This is my snap. This is my
whatever
clap. We also want to thank Councilman Charlie Slife. He has to take care of a sick baby today, but he really did a lot of work to put together our presentation with the numbers, so we would be remiss. And then, of course, just our team at Cleveland City Council. Daryl, we sincerely appreciate you for coming to show up. And absolutely our TV 20 team that's here to
TV 20,
live stream
TV
it.
20.
Y'all, we have a lot of wonderful TV 20. That's our public access channel, and we just have a lot of hard, dedicated workers that work to help make this thing called the City of Cleveland flow, and we are very grateful that we get the opportunity to work together to serve and work in partnership with you. So thank you.
And for those of you who have Spectrum, because I think most people up here have Spectrum cable, you could always watch us on channel 1020. It's 1020 on Spectrum TV, right?
And online, and we'll
Yeah.
make sure that we send it to the center so that they will have it. And then happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Again, you all are somebody's Valentine, even if it's only to yourself. And I mean that. Again, we are in some times, but show love not only to yourself, but for the other ones.
I think I'm going to go out and buy myself a bouquet of flowers.
Yes, go do it, Casey. All right, y'all,
All right,
have
thank
a
you.
blessed day.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.